Matt and I are out early this morning trying to get some things done in the garden. Actually, I'm out early this morning. Matt's still in the house, but he's coming. He's going to come and help me. He's just got a few things in there he's got to do. So we're going to try to go ahead and tear out some of the garden today. That, you know, this is the end of the growing season and things are dying out. There's some stuff still, though. If you watched my recent garden tour video, if you didn't, I'll link to that. But you can see we still have bounty coming in, which is wonderful. But I'm going to tear out definitely these right behind me. There's some, it's where we had our greasy beans. Those are done and gone with. I mean, done, and there'll be no more of those. And also the mother beans in the front of the house, I think we'll be able to remove those today. There are a few beans on them, so I'm going to try to pull those off, of course, as we pull out the plants. And then we're going to try to harvest some of our potatoes. We did get the whole, if you watch our videos a few videos ago, we got the whole row down at the big garden. We've been enjoying them. We shared some of them with Granny, but we're going to go ahead and get the ones up here today. We're going to have to beat back the jungle that we've allowed to grow over top of them before we can get started on that. Well, that looks a lot better. Matt helped me. We got all the beans pulled out. It did end up, there was a few there, and we pulled them off of the vines that we were getting rid of. Some of them are completely already dried out, and then some of them are green still. We will lay those out and let them dry, and then get the seed out of them, get the bean out of them just to use for seed for next year. Another thing we were able to get was these tomatoes. This is a volunteer tomato plant. We didn't plant it. It just started growing here on this end of the trellis, and we've been enjoying them all summer. It's like a sun gold. It's really sweet little tomato. The vines of the tomato had just sprawled out, and they were growing all around there. I had some watermelons there, which didn't really do any good for us, and it was just all intertwined. So now that the beans are gone, I tried to raise it up and kind of weave them through the cattle panel. It's this late in the year. It's not likely that the tomato will do much more, but I'll give it any chance that it can to continue to produce a little bit longer. And it's got a lot of green tomatoes on it, so hopefully those will ripen. So we've come down to the big part of the garden, and we're going to go ahead and pull out, we're going to leave the butter beans, but we're going to pull out the mother beans here. That beautiful bean we told you about last week. I was going to see if most of the beans that are left on it are dried out like this one. So you can see that beautiful color. Let's see if you can, there. Beautiful, pretty color. Now, we told you last week, we found out mostly these are eaten as dried beans, so you would let them dry out like this and then shell them out and then let them dry some more and then store them for winter use. We've actually been eating them fresh. We had some more over the weekend, and they were really good. But the plants don't really have any more blooms on them, so we're going to go ahead and tear those plants out, and we'll just save all the beans. And depending on how many there is, maybe we'll save them and use them as a dried bean, or maybe we'll just save them for seed for next year. I was over here seeing if any of the cucumbers had grew enough for me to put them up start them up the trellis, and that one has. And this one has, and look what I see. Look at this. There's our first little cucumber on them. I got so excited I screamed, and Matt thought that I'd been copperhead bit or something. I was like, no, it's a cucumber. It's a cucumber. That is so exciting. So at least we're going to have one cucumber. Maybe if we could get some more rain, maybe they would grow and we would at least get enough to enjoy eating with our supper, because our other cucumbers are all gone at this point. Well, we fought back the jungle. Now we're going to look for taters. Looks like some good ones. Some folks that grow potatoes in grow bags like this, they spread out a tarp and then dump them out, and then go through them that way. For me and Matt, we just think this is easier than doing that. And it's kind of fun, ain't it, Matt? It's like looking for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But whichever way you do it works for sure. Well, not a bad harvest considering we've been eating on them all summer long, these in the grow bags. Now we just have to get the ones that we planted in the end of the asparagus bed. See how many that little area made. This is our overgrown asparagus bed, but in this end of it here is where we planted some potatoes. So we'll have to clear out the jungle before we can get started digging them though. I think Matt's about got them all dug up. I see some little bitty ones there, Matt. I could get for you. That's another 2 or 3 little ones. Most of the ones, though, were pretty good size that were over here. Now that I've beat back the jungle growth, you can see here's some new asparagus. Uh-oh, that one's actually come up. Let's see if I can put it back down in there. But here's some you can see here. Matt got a big potato here, he says. But you can see some of the newer, younger asparagus that's reseeded itself and where it's coming up. Asparagus is takes a long time to actually produce to where you can eat it. One of our beds is really old, and then this one not so much. That was the big tater Matt found he was excited about. That's a pretty big one. That's great. A few more.
Back in here where I've done been.
It's hard to find them all. Kind of like those Easter eggs you try to find, and sometimes you find one months later, which is really bad if it's a real egg, not so much if it's a plastic one, but. Oh, pull it off. Coconut is so good.
No, I don't want none of that.
Instantly yellow jackets.
Oh, they probably found me. Bees love me.
It's that time of the year where the bees are, especially yellow jackets, are, I think, mad and angry and trying to stock up before Old Man Winter comes.
Yeah, they're hateful.
Matt was telling me I need to be good to him. I said, I'm always good to you, which I am. But it reminded me when Katie was little, she was probably, I don't know, 4 years old or something. She'd tell me, I don't even know where she got it or how she come up with it, but she'd tell me, Mama, I want you to be good to me, Mama. I want you to be good to me. And I'd say, I am good to you, Katie. And then she'd tell me sometimes, she'd say, Mama, the Lord told you to be good to me. And then sometimes she'd say, I thought the Lord told you to be good to me. And all I could do was just hysterically laugh at her. I don't know where she come up with it, but it was just so funny seeing her, the way she was quite comical when she was little.
Yeah,
she still is,
yeah.
But yeah, all I could do was just fall on the floor with hysterical laughter because it was just so funny. Because of course I was good to her, but then I don't know where she got she's telling me the Lord wanted me to, which he does want me to be good to her, but I was being good to her. But remember that, she'd say, Mama, I want you to be good to me, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord said for you to be good to me.
Which one of them was it that said, I don't remember which one it was, but you was getting on to the other one, and the other one run in there and told you to leave my brother alone.
That was Katie too.
Was that Katie?
Yeah. She'd call Corey her brother, and we'd say, she's not your brother, she's your sister. She'd say, I'd be ashamed if I was getting on to Corey. In those days, Corey was the one that was the hardest to handle. It wasn't Katie. I'd be ashamed. Get on to my brother.
Yeah.
Like, well, she's not your brother, so. One time she was like, Corey had funny stuff she said too, but one time Katie told, I don't remember if she told us or told Corey. I think she told us though, I don't know what we were saying to her, but she said, "Don't tell me no questions, you dumper."
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know what a dumper was.
I don't know.
I liked how she phrased, "Don't tell me any questions."
Yeah, don't tell me no questions. Corey was sweet. She was the hardest to handle, but she just always had the sweetest personality, just a special gift and of being sweet. She still does. Not that Katie's not sweet, but that's just Corey just has a special gentleness. But one day I went back there. I'd put them down for a nap or something. This is when they had a little toddler bed, so they could get in and out of them. And she's sitting there in the floor crying, and I said, what is wrong? What's wrong? Because it wasn't like she was crying because she had to take a nap. It's like something had happened to her, you know. And she had a bunch of stuffed animals in the bed, and she said, "My mammals won't give me no womb." So, her animals, she couldn't, it was like they were, she didn't want to do without them, but then there was no room for her to take her naps. It's like, "My mammals won't give me no womb." Oh, it's so sweet. Kids do say the funniest things, yeah. We can't wait for Ira and Woodrow to start talking and saying stuff. And
yep, it's going to be fun.
Things like that stick with you, of course, about your own kids, but in our family, me and Matt especially, but all of us, and we remember so many things that, excuse me, that our first nephew, Ben, he's the oldest, and he was the first grandchild for Granny and Pap. So it was like we were all just enthralled with Ben. He was just, because, you know, he was the first little kid in our family, and since me and Paul had been little, Paul is the baby, so he'd been the last little kid. But we still say stuff that Ben said. And he called himself Bebo, so we still call him Bebo. Or every time I see it raining, you know, one of the first things, I'm surprised that it's raining, I hear his little voice in my head saying, "It's yaining, it's yaining, it's yaining." So all those little precious things stick with you. Kids are something else.
Yep.
Well, we got some potatoes.
Yeah.
We've been eating on the potatoes up here all summer. And the ones we got out of the big garden a week or two ago, we've been eating on them. We're going through them pretty quick. And these won't last us, I mean, not even, 2 months or something between all of them. Because we eat a lot of potatoes, so we'll be buying them at the grocery store shortly. But it's really nice to have some. And I think potatoes are one of the easiest things to grow. I guess depending on where you live, but here where we're at, because you plant them, and especially in the grow bags, I should say, and then just forget about them. And so a lot of those were growing under that. Me and Matt really forgot about them this year. Usually we do a better job at keeping the weeds back, but we didn't this year. We just let it take over. So, but those potatoes were growing underneath there the whole time.
Probably cook some of those today.
Yeah. You gonna fry them in the bear grease?
Bear grease about gone.
I know, we're like inching it along. It's almost gone.
There's enough for one more cooking, and that's it. I'd like to have a case of that.
Yeah.
I guess I could go get my own bear, but that's just not something I've ever done or know much about.
So many different ways to grow potatoes too. The grow bags have worked good for us. Is this like the third year maybe we've tried that? Or something. Of course, the ones in the big garden did so-so. They would have done better if we got them planted earlier and if we'd had rain. But there's what's it called, the Ruth Stout method, where you just cover them up, kind of. We've never really tried that. A lot of people, some people grow them in, like we're doing grow bags. They use like garbage cans or pasteboard boxes, buckets. Even I've heard people say they stack up tires and they put them in that, and then as you take the tire off, you can, the potatoes are growing. About as many different ways to grow them as there is to eat them, I guess.
I like them.
We had mashed potatoes last night from those new potatoes. That was really, they were good.
Yeah, it was good.
New potatoes are just better. I mean, we eat the potatoes from the grocery store and we'll eat them all winter, but those new potatoes are just special.
Yeah, they are.
I had some of our Mississippi pink eyes to go with them. Of course, cornbread. Had a big Cherokee red tomato and had some baked oven chicken. It was a pretty good meal, wasn't it?
An extra good meal.
Those peas are just so good.
Yeah, they are. I like them. Probably ought to grow more of them. I mean, more beds of them, so we'd have more of them as good as we like them.
Thinking about next year's garden, the big garden, that's something, because they're bush, the one we're growing is a bush variety. We could definitely plant them down there.
Mm-hmm.
If the deer alarms will help keep the deer out of them, and we may just surround the whole place with alarms. What do you think? Matt can't. No. They get on Matt's nerves and Corey's nerves. I've not heard.
Austin's nerves.
And Austin's nerves, but I didn't hear him. I was going to say just you and Corey's all I heard.
Yeah.
But
I'd say the UPS man likes it too.
Every time he drives by them, they go off.
They bark at him every time he goes by.
I don't care. If it helps me have a garden, we'll just have to endure them.
Well, I'm about to start helping you on the deer problem.
Yeah, deer season. Well, it will have started. By the time you see this, it will have already started. So yeah. Matt's excited.
Yep.
And deer season, a lot of people that don't know much about hunting ask, where can't you just hunt deer all the time? Each area has their own regulations and laws and seasons. But for North Carolina, bow season won't be gun season, but you can hunt with a bow will have started.
Mm-hmm.
So all different regulations depending on where you're at, and then whether or not you can use a bow to hunt or a gun or muzzle loader or whatever, right?
Yep.
And I don't know much about it. What I know, I've just gleaned from living with Matt for 30 years.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
It's very exciting.
So, from this point forth, if you want any of this kind of stuff done, you're going to have to come up there and get me.
Come get you out of the woods. I'll be like, Matt!
I'm going to be staying up there a whole lot.
Yeah. That'll be okay. It's kind of winding down.
It's supposed to get a little cooler weather toward first of next week, too,
Yeah.
which coincides real nicely with
deer season.
Yeah, and it usually is not like that this time of year. It's usually still blistering hot, and it's still warm, but we're going to have just a few days of cooler, drier weather, and it'll be real nice.
Even today is not as hot as it's been.
No.
It's not at all.
But it's time.
Yeah, it is time, yeah. But I didn't even really get hot when we were down there doing the beans or the beans. I know you did.
My shirt's already wet.
I mean, I got a little warm, but not compared to 2 weeks ago when we was working out here and we was just sweat pouring and having to go to the woods to find a cool spot.
Yeah.
So, a lot of you have asked how has Matt's glasses been when using his bow or his gun. Mm-hmm. I don't know, have you used a scope?
I've looked through them just to see if it's helps or how, if I can do it, and I can. And even a pistol with open sights or a .22 rifle with open sights, I can see those, but I cannot use the bow with them, which is frustrating. But I found a peep sight for the bow. I mean, if you don't know anything about a bow, a lot of people use a peep sight in the string so that when you pull it back, it kind of acts as a rear sight. I found one of those that they make one that actually has different power lenses in them that's similar to reading glass lenses. So when I saw that, I said, yeah, I've got to have that. I've got to at least try it. So I ordered it and put it in, and I should have had one of those years ago, because I would have figured that it would have at least cleared up either your target or your sight pins, one or the other, but it actually clears up both. So I can see the pins and see the target too, and that's real good. Mm. I can actually see now.
Matt's been on cloud nine over that.
And I don't know how long that's been around. I'm sure it has been for a long time. I've just never looked into it because I always just figured I couldn't see good, and that was just the end of it. But I thought maybe getting the glasses would help me be able to shoot it, but I can't the way you got to turn your head, you're looking kind of diagonally through the glasses, and that's kind of freaky. So I can't use those, but I can use that new sight, and it works great.
That's good. I'm so glad you found out about it.
And you can literally, the little lens is threaded and it screws in and out, so you can get different powers or different magnification of lenses to suit your eyesight.
So you have to take your glasses off to look through that?
Yeah. When I'm using that, I don't even wear them. Which is going to be kind of weird because I won't even take them with me up here hunting. I don't guess I'll just have a pair of readers in my pocket or whatever in case I need to, see something up close or whatever. But I'm not going to be able to. Can't look through that thing with these things on.
Thankfully, me and Matt both. I wear contacts, but thankfully both of us, even if we don't have any glasses, any contacts, anything in, can still see fairly good. We just can't see the small stuff or the far away stuff. I think I shared this before when we talked about Matt's glasses. My sister-in-law, Kim, she says if she lays her glasses down on the bed, if she don't remember exactly where she laid them, she has to feel for them, and we're not like that.
Yeah.
We're very blessed and thankful. So Matt should be fine going without his...
Yeah, I'll be fine. I
you'll
mean,
be
I've
fine.
done it all up until this point. How long have I had these? 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, right. So... But I was really happy Matt found out that you could, which I don't know nothing about bows either, but I was surprised to learn you could get something like that.
Yeah, and we don't have that I'm aware of real close to here, a archery shop. We used to, but it closed down. So in order to be able to work on these bows and stuff, I just bought my own bow press and just learned how to do it all myself, set the whole thing up, and any work needs to be done on it I can do myself. So I think the nearest one here to here is, I guess it would be Cleveland, Tennessee. And that's however far that is away. That's an hour at least, hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna, so I just learned how to do it all myself. So I put it in the press and broke it down where I could get the tension off the string, put it in, tied it in myself. That kind of goes along with the self-reliant stuff that we like. I just learned how to do that stuff too.
Yeah, I did not have to.
And can pretty much do the guns that way too.
Yeah.
For the most part, work on anything that needs to be done to them.
That's why you like the older trucks, so you can work on them.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. This new stuff I can't work. I mean, I can't work on. I ain't much of a mechanic, but the older stuff, you can't. There is more you can do to them than the new cars and trucks.
Yeah. So exciting time of the year for Matt.
Yeah.
Really exciting that he figured out something to help him see.
Yeah, that's revolutionary, actually. I was shocked.
Do you remember the name in case anybody else is interested in it? The name of the website or anything?
I actually got it from eBay, but the name of the company that makes it, I believe, is called Specialty Archery LLC, maybe something like that. I think that's what it is. And they have several different types and several different things that they sell, and that's one of them.
It's probably a common problem for people because then if you
be.
wear glasses trying to see through it, and
some people, and I've seen people shoot a bow with glasses on, but everybody's build and everybody's draw length and everything's different, and just the way you're built, you may be a little bit more square to what you're shooting at, and you're not. In other words, you're not as at an angle and looking, kind of crossways through your glasses as some other people might be, and I just happen to be one that just can't do it.
You're really hopeful the glasses would fix that.
But, the other parts of the hunting season where I'm using the gun, I'll be able to use them.
Yeah.
Because it's just a different fit and just the way you're looking is different. And because I've already tried it and it works.
But you have been pleased with glasses.
Yeah, I have. I've finally gotten used to the progression of them, as far as them being more magnified in the bottom, and then it gets bigger as you go down. I finally got over the...
Feeling like you're falling down the steps or something?
Yeah, it's because I've worn them enough now. Everybody said you get used to it. And when I first put them on, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to get used to this or not, but I did.
Well, that's good.
They're not as magnified as my readers, or they don't seem to be. I mean, I can still see good enough, but there is a difference between these and the readers that I use. It's kind of, if you switch back and forth between them, it's something you got to kind of get used to it for a minute or two.
I hadn't got used to looking at Matt with them on yet. I still think he's got sunglasses on or
Yeah.
something, yeah. I have to get used to, yeah. Which, you're like me, you don't really wear glasses. I mean, even, of course, I've got contacts in, but if I didn't have the contacts in, if I'm just walking around the house and stuff, I don't wear my readers. And you don't either, usually, if you're just doing...
I've usually got them on me in case I have to do something with my hands or something, because I've got to have them.
Go around with them on your face.
Well, I can't walk around with readers on like you do. You sit and watch TV with readers on, and the TV was 15 feet away, and there just ain't no way.
Yeah. I'll tell you something funny about the readers, a funny story. This year, since Katie's had Ira, one morning I was looking at him and I was like, my gosh, how did he grow overnight? I mean, kids do. They surprise you how they're growing, but I'm like, but this is just unusual.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking that, and I kind of said to Katie, he's growing or something. She's like, yeah, he's getting big. And I just kept looking at him, kept thinking about it, and I was just like trying to figure out how did he gain that much weight overnight, you know? And then finally I realized it's my glasses. I took my glasses off and was like, oh, he looks just like he did last night when he went to bed. It's my glasses. Yeah. Me and Katie got the biggest laugh out of that. I was like, because they're just magnifying. They were just magnifying him, and he looked bigger.
It is funny to look at him, because a whole lot of the times in the house I don't have these on, and when I do put them on and look at him, it's different. I mean, it's I don't know. You just pick out. You're able to see different little subtleties about him. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's like when I first got my contacts, looking in the mirror, a big mirror, thinking, "My Lord, I'm old." Now because you can see the little things, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So I was seeing my wrinkles.
Every time I've got him on, if I get up close to him, he's trying to get them.
Yeah, trying to hold on to him. Yeah. I guess you're getting hungry, are you? What did you eat for breakfast?
I had oatmeal and toast and coffee and some of that good milk.
Oh, we've had some fresh milk this week, so that's good. That sounds like, no, you're probably not hungry. That sounds like a real meal.
No,
You're still hungry?
Yeah.
I had something I usually don't have, which is cereal. I usually drink my broth and have an apple and some cheese, but I just woke up wanting cereal. And so I had a bowl of Rice Krispies.
That won't do you long.
No, it didn't do me long. Yeah.
That won't, as your daddy used to say, that won't hold you because it ain't got no power in it.
Got no power in it, yeah.
And he's right.
Cereal is something, especially the sugary ones, of course, that you shouldn't eat and they're bad for you. There's all kinds of debates about that, but and all true. I'm not saying they're not, but my goodness, I love cereal. I don't eat it as much as I used to, but I used to just, me and Paul both especially, just about lived on it growing up. It was like any time I had a finicky appetite, I guess you would say, I was picky, and then I got sick at my stomach a lot. So a lot of times if I just couldn't think of exactly what I wanted to eat, I just didn't want to eat. I mean, if I couldn't just have a real craving for something. But something I could always eat was cereal if I couldn't think of nothing else. So I know it ain't that, like I said, not that good for you and all those kind of things, but I think it was the Seinfeld show where it was all about cereal. He had all the different cereals. I guess that's how me and Paul were about cereal.
Yeah.
Matt likes, of course, when you're growing up, and if you have memories of eating those sugary type cereals, Matt had different ones because, of course, we didn't grow up together. So you liked Sugar Smack. I liked Sugar Smacks. What did you like?
Crunch Berries.
Crunch Berries, which we never ever had
Captain
that.
Crunch, I love that. Cocoa Pebbles.
I never had that either.
Cookie Crisp.
Never had that. You really did like the sugary ones.
Where'd you live at? What's the matter with you?
We had Cheerios and cornflakes.
I like Cheerios. I ate Cheerios a lot and cornflakes. I mean, I had all of it at one time, but I just kind of gravitated toward the ones that will wreck your health the worst. That's the ones I wanted.
That's the ones you wanted.
Yeah.
Granny would cut up bananas in our Cheerios, and I liked that.
My grandmother, Bonnie, she wouldn't let me have cereal. She wouldn't keep it now if I stayed with her.
She didn't want you to have it.
But she always was real adamant about making sure I ate. And she would, for breakfast of the morning, she'd feed me cream of wheat. Yeah. And I kind of liked it, but she wouldn't let me put no sugar or butter in it.
She just wanted you to eat it plain.
It's the same with grits. You know, people, I'm probably about to kick a hornet's nest right here, but, just the way it is. A lot of people don't like grits. A lot of people do like grits. Grits, as far as I'm concerned, and I like them, I do. But if you ain't got no butter and sugar on them, they ain't fit to eat. I just ain't gonna eat them. And the same with oatmeal. It's just like going out here in the horse trough and eating. If you ain't got that stuff on.
I like both. Oh, not oatmeal. I want some kind of sweetness in my oatmeal. I don't mind grits if they don't have sugar in them, though.
If you don't put sugar, I put honey in them a lot, and that's good. Yeah. But it's like eating fodder.
It's what you get used to, because places we've done videos about it before, and people in other places are like it's sacrilege to put sugar or butter in your grits. Sugar especially. Just depends on what you grow up in. But yes, I like oatmeal. I like it like that. Now thinking of cereals. That's very common in our area is to eat white rice, but to eat it with sugar and butter. Now, we grew up eating that. Me and Matt both grew up eating that. So, and I can eat that, and I like it a lot, but I can also just eat rice, with nothing, just with my, we had rice this week and put cube steak over it, something like that.
If you putting something on it, fine, but just rice, just plain old, just pull it out of the pot and plop it on the plate and eat it.
It's eating fodder too.
Kind of, yeah. To me,
so Matt's going to put butter and sugar in his rice.
You gotta enjoy life a little bit.
You gotta live a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah. You'll have to tell us. You don't eat sugary cereals, but if you did when you was young, what was your favorite? Paul went through a stage where he really liked Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
But mostly the cornflakes, Cheerios, and then I think Paul's like me now. If he does eat something, he wants Rice Krispies. That's what I eat now, Rice Krispies. And you can get really healthy, because Katie eats the healthy Rice Krispies. Mine's not that healthy. Mine's the plain old Kellogg's or whatever. But
you remember a month or so ago we found a box of chocolate Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, we did.
And I didn't know they made such thing.
I think we were at Aldi's in Blairsville, somewhere we didn't usually shop, and we just somehow happened. Matt seen them.
I grabbed hold of that box and I said, "Look at this right here," and I just threw it in the thing.
Yeah.
I had to have that. Had to try it. And I don't eat cereal now much.
Was it good? I didn't even eat none of it, but
was
it good?
Good.
I forgot to even ask you about it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I didn't buy any more.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff's bad for you, and I try not to do it. I don't want to keep it, in other words, all the time, because I'll eat it.
You splurge on it every once in a while.
But that was good. When you got all the cereal ate out of it, it was like chocolate milk in the bowl. It was fantastic, and I'm sure it'd kill you.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Oh, gosh, that's funny. Yeah, I never heard of that growing up.
I've never heard of that.
Chocolate ones.
I've never seen it till that day.
It's one of those things is bad for you, but sometimes it's like a guilty pleasure, I guess.
I have a hard time with sugar. And I don't eat it as much now as I once did.
No, you don't.
But it ain't because I don't want it.
Yeah, I have a sweet tooth too, for sure. I have a sweet tooth.
Golly, I could eat Debbie's and candy bars all the time now. I just don't.
You feel better when you don't.
Feel better, and even when it's time to get groceries, I don't put that stuff on the list because I know I'll eat it.
Mm-hmm. If it's in the house.
If it's in the house. Yeah. And occasionally I'll get some because I've been a while without it and I just want some.
Yeah.
But I don't eat a great deal of it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Sweet folks brought Matt some Debbie's to the cookbook signing.
Yeah, and they got eight.
And they got 8, yeah.
And then I kind of spread them out, but I did eat them all.
Yeah. Little Debbie's, I don't know. I don't ever eat Little Debbie's now, but when I was growing up, especially in high school, my favorite Little Debbie was the fudge round.
Yeah, I like those.
And Granny and Pap always had Little Debbie's. They would eat them with their coffee, drink coffee, and they liked the raisin pies, tick pies, Matt calls them, and the oatmeal pies. I don't like either one of those. And the, like, what is that, pecan twirl? Like a pecan little, almost like a cinnamon roll, but pecan.
Yeah, I haven't had one of those in years. They're good.
Katie she went through a spell. She wouldn't dare eat one now, Miss Health Nut, but where she was eating, what do you call those? Chocolate jelly Debbies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got like a little cherry jelly filling in them. Something like that. She loved those, and she still does. She just don't eat them.
Yeah. Matt found, was that last year or sometime, you found the peanut butter ones. You really liked those.
Gosh, yeah, them things was good.
Yeah.
And I still eat them here and there and occasionally, but I don't. We don't regularly keep them here just because I'll eat them.
Matt will eat them.
And now, if I get a lot of times, if I get a craving for sugar, I'll get a spoonful of honey, and that'll kind of. And I don't know how much better, if it is any better for you. It seems like it should be, especially because if it's local honey.
Oh yeah, if it's local.
But it quells that urge to eat sugar, and that's got to be a little bit better, you know. I really like honey.
Yeah. And it does, I mean, me and Matt go more about what the things you eat makes you feel, how they make you feel. I mean, of course you should try to be healthy, we're not saying that, but if something makes us feel bad, then we just try to stay away from that.
Yeah. We get fussed at a lot for our fried foods and stuff, but until medically I can't eat that anymore, I'm not stopping that.
Well, there's different ways to look at that. There's, for one thing, we're very, very active people, and it requires a lot of calories and a lot of energy to do all the stuff we do. And then everybody has to make up their own mind about that, but then there's the personal debate on whether or not you think seed oils are better, or if you think natural fats, like we use bacon grease a lot, or olive oil or something like that, what you think's better. Anyway, lots of debates out there about all that.
I have a truckload of theories on all kinds of different stuff, and I have one about that.
You probably should keep it to yourself.
Okay. It wasn't mean.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. Tell your theory if it wasn't mean.
I think that if you can't enjoy what you eat, and if you just eat every single meal and it's just not that good, what is the point, you know? I mean, that's the way I look at it. We're active and move around a whole lot, and I may go face down today.
Yeah, I might too.
But it's going to be the full belly.
Yeah.
And that's just the way I look at it. And you're going to die anyway at some point.
Me and Matt already kind of believed like that and thought about life like that as we got older. You don't even think about stuff like that when you're young. No. I sure wasn't thinking about, I'm eating corn pops or whatever it was, or sugar smacks or something, that when I was real young, I wasn't thinking, this is bad for me. I was just thinking, man, this is good. I want another bowl. But we already thought kind of like that. But Miss Cindy was a real example of that, because she tried to do everything perfect. She wouldn't let herself have hardly anything. No sugar, no bread. I mean, and she went to the gym every day. She done all this stuff and tried to just be so, everything was about health to her. And she's gone. She ain't here, you know. So you just, I guess, like Matt said, you got to find your happy medium, or find what works for you. Of course, we want to be healthy. We don't want to just eat junk food every day, but at the same time, if you decide you want a bowl of cereal for breakfast, you're going to eat it.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to, like Katie or Corey said.
It was Corey used to say, me going to do what me going to do. She told me that one time too. That's another funny one. That shows how she was the one that was the hardest to handle in those days. Told me that. Me going to do what me going to do. It's her little defiant self. Yeah. She'd pulled my flowers up that day. That was a real day, and done some other stuff that was go down in the record book for Corey.
Yeah, it was a day of infamy here around this house, because we still talk about it.
And we were having company, so that just made it all worse, you know. Anyway, well, we're always glad when you stop by to visit with us and to help us celebrate Appalachia. We really appreciate you.